Hey everyone, it's Cliff from Cliff Life. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to build a fire in a wood stove. So that's going to be everywhere from gathering the kindling and the wood that you'll need, all the way to starting the fire and getting it going in the wood stove. So hope you guys like it. Stay tuned. And so basically, the first thing you want to do, you want to find good wood that is dry. And one way you can do this is if you have wood that breaks easily, like that, cracks, doesn't try to bend, like wood that bends and then like splits badly and doesn't immediately break, like this is bad wood that you do not want to use for your wood stove, because you do not want to ruin your wood stove by burning anything that's wet. Also, another thing to know, if you do not already know this and you're new to wood stoves, never ever burn soft woods like pine, cedar, anything like that, because that will just completely destroy wood stove, because wood stoves are made to burn only hardwood. So oak, maple, hickory, those are perfect. This one I believe is from an oak tree. So this one just fell down from the storm because it was weak and dead. So just make sure you gather dry wood, make sure it's hardwood. That's basically all you really need to know. I'll show you guys how much you will need and what types of kindling and fuel and tinder that you will need to start it. So hope this helps. Alright, let's get into the next step. Okay, so here we have our wood. So this first pile that you're seeing right now, this is our smallest pieces of wood. These are all very small. These are like the basic starting of a fire. So the smaller than this would be cardboard, or a small amount of paper, or a small amount of cardboard that will be used to light it, of course. And then right on top of this cardboard in a teepee style formation, we will pile this wood on top. So secondly, we're going to get to our next piece. So that once that's going pretty well, once this wood's burning, we go to the next pile right here, which is a bit larger, as you can see, a bit longer, of course. And this type is just to kind of get ready for the next stage. This is kind of a medium. Make sure this is not too big, because then our little pieces won't be able to catch them. But also make sure it's not too small, where it'll burn to where it will be too small to burn the next stage. Alright, so the next stage would be right here, which would be our larger pieces, and these are used to finally catch our smaller logs on fire. So make sure you have a good amount of this. It doesn't need to be too much. Make sure it's not too big again, so that the smaller pile does not be able to be catching it. Alright, and so then fourth, of course, we have our 2 logs, and I'll gather much more because we have to burn it all night, but this is good. Make sure it's not too big based on the size of your third set of your third pile of wood. So make sure you have this. Right now, this is all the wood we'll need. Also, before you start, make sure you have some source of starting the fire, so lighter, matches, etc. And also make sure you have a small amount of cardboard, newspaper, etc. So we'll get to the next part, starting the fire. Okay, so here we have our wood and our small twigs first. I've brought in all of our wood that we'll need. So first, I got our wood right here, and I'm also gonna make sure before you start, make sure you have some cardboard and some way of lighting your fire, so a lighter or matches. So I'll get those things set up, and I'll get you guys zoomed in inside the wood stove to show you guys how to set up your fire. Okay, so here I just piled my paper right there, and put some our first level of sticks here around there. So like your smallest ones. Make sure you get that going. Make sure that it's not too overwhelmed. So as you can see, you can still see paper and stuff. Make sure you can still see it, or else you will like have nowhere for air to flow to that paper so it can burn. So make sure that you do that. I'll light this up so you guys can see what it looks like, and then we can get to putting on the next step of wood. So as you all can see, the fire is burning pretty good now. This is the first step, and I've added a tiny bit of the second step. But now that it's burning pretty good, I believe I'm ready to add on the next level of wood. So the one right after your smaller pieces. So before you add on, make sure your smaller pile is burning pretty good, similar to this one at least. And so I'll get the smaller wood out, or the next step out, and I'll let you guys see that, and I'll put it on for you all. Fire's burning pretty good, and so now I'm just gonna take off, our next step of wood, this stuff, and I'm gonna put that on there. So we'll do this one a bit more gradually than our first one. So we'll just kind of put it on there, nice and steady. Yeah, every couple of seconds, just put one on, rather than just kind of putting it all there at the same time. Once you get it all on there, just kind of let it burn for a little bit until it's up to speed with the wood that you added. So just kind of let that go. Alright, so as you guys can see, I piled up all the wood eventually on there. Now I'm gonna let it burn down for a few minutes until the flames are pretty high, and then we can get into the third step, which is the final step before we get into the logs, and that'll be your third level of fuel. So we'll let this burn down for a little bit. We're just gonna enjoy the little fire we got going so far. Okay, so now our second layer is just about burning really nice now. Now we're ready to get into the third layer. So I'll bring that wood over for you guys so you guys can see, and then we'll put it in there. Okay, so here I have all of the third level of wood, and this would be just about everything we need until we can start burning down those logs. So now this is burning pretty good. So we can probably scoot this over. We don't want it to fall out of the wood stove. That would be very bad. So now we can just start placing some on. Now this one, you have to be nice and steady, because if you go too fast, you'll ruin your fire. So you just want to keep going nice and slow. Put it on the areas where the fire is largest. You just keep on doing that. Alright, so now that I've put all the wood on top, we're just going to let it burn down until it's nice and where it's relatively, it's mostly just red hot embers, like these there. So we just want to burn it down until it's low. Then when we get to where it's all burned down, not to ashes, because that would just completely pointless, but like down to where it's not burning so low. Like right now it's still trying to catch, but it's catching pretty quickly. So I'll show you the step. Once this burns down, I'll show you guys the next step, what you need to do after you have this. So as you can see, the fire is finally caught up with itself, but we still got it burning down, because you can see the space in order to place a wood log is not very large. So we need to bring this down to probably mid area, just not as high, so we can let it burn down. We'll just keep letting it burn. Alright, so as you guys can see, the fire has burned down much to what we need. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get our log, and I'm just going to kind of place it on top. And if yours is still, kind of too big, but it's burning really hot, you can kind of knock it over, and it will kind of burn out, which is perfect because it's sort of like an ember bed. So you can do that if you need to, or you can just let it burn down. But if it continues to be a high pile of burning wood, then you can just kind of knock down your little pile. So now I'm just going to take this log, which seems to be about the size we need for this. I'll place it on top. Oops. Put it on. There you go. So now we got our log on. It's burning nice and hot. So all we have to do now, we're just going to close it. All you have to do is close it down. You can open up your damper more if you want more heat. Close it down if you want less. So that's basically it. Now all you have to do, final step, just sit back and relax. Alright guys, so that's basically it. Now, as I said, just sit back, relax, let your fire burn. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys learned from it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to like the video. And that's basically it. Thanks.